So today I'm going to be talking about Christmas songs, as you might have guessed from the title, and why Christmas songs always sound a particular way and bring to mind the spirit of the season, as we might call it. So I'm going to be talking about several different aspects of Christmas songs that come together to create a kind of I'm sorry, it's just several different aspects of Christmas songs that come together to create how Christmas songs feel. And so we're going to be starting with crooners, interestingly enough. So, of course, this is the holiday season, not just the Christmas season, but in this session, we will be focusing on Christmas songs specifically. That's what I grew up with. That's what I listen to this time of year. And all these things I'm going to be talking about are my own observations that I've made recently while listening to different Christmas songs. We're also going to be focusing on the Christmas songs from about, say, 1950 to 1980. So not the very old Christmas songs or more traditional ones, and not the more modern ones like the infamous All I Want for Christmas Is You. So we're going to start off by talking about crooners, because that's where a lot of our kind of classic Christmas songs come from. If you think of Let It Snow, Winter Wonderland, the Christmas song, things sung by like Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and Nat King Cole. So these kind of names are the ones who brought about our original Christmas songs. And it's interesting that these crooners, as I'm going to continue to call them, are kind of the origin of our Christmas songs, because it shows it connects with the nostalgia that we feel when we think of Christmas songs. So, and that's going to be a large part of what I'm talking about today. So to start us off, I'm going to play White Christmas for you. It's one of my favorite Christmas songs, and I think it really exemplifies the nostalgia that's part of Christmas. And this is something we'll be coming back to over and over again, okay? So without further ado, here's White Christmas. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. So I know that's a short little snippet, but you can see how in the song it talks a lot about just like the ones I used to know, and a real nostalgia. Yes, lots of Christmas emojis I see. And so you can also notice in that song actually a certain chord progression. Now I know, it's not something we usually think of. We think of Christmas songs from Tokyo. That's so cool. I was there, I guess it was last year. Yeah. That's really cool. Masakado. Very cool. Do you celebrate Christmas? And while you answer that, I'm just gonna keep on going. Thank you. So you can see in that song actually a certain chord progression, which I noticed is prevalent in a lot of Christmas songs. And that is this chord progression. And so that's actually, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. And you can see that in a lot of Christmas songs. In fact, I wrote a song with that chord progression. It was about dandelions. And when I played it, it sounded like a Christmas song, which I found fascinating because it wasn't about anything like that at all. And so that chord progression actually ties in with the crooners bit because it's a leading chord progression. It doesn't have any sort of final end to it. And so it's kind of nostalgic. It kind of makes you feel something. And again, we'll be coming back to this throughout. So that also ties into basically the idea of emotionality. I'm not sure if that's a word, but we're going to keep using it anyways. Basically, a lot of people think that Christmas is a happy holiday. It's joyful. It's the most wonderful time of the year, you know? And a lot of Christmas songs do exemplify that, like that one, like Holly Jolly Christmas, and many others as well. Season of Joy, you know. But I've come to realize through looking at these different Christmas songs that Christmas is not really a joyful holiday so much as an emotional holiday. It is designed to make people feel something. People crave togetherness, connectivity, and community around this time of year. They want to be together with people. And on that note, something that we see in a lot of Christmas songs are choirs. So you can see it in like Blue Christmas by Elvis, even in It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. A lot of the old crooner things, in fact, which ties back to that. But you see a lot of choirs, which is really interesting because it brings us connectivity. It makes us feel like we're part of a large group that's all singing together. And if you look at like the Grinch, how the Grinch Stole Christmas, you can see like at the end the real meaning of Christmas is all the Who's singing together. So singing as a choir is a large part of that feeling of community, and that's something that we do see in a lot of Christmas songs, which I find very interesting. Now, this also ties into the community that we find in church choirs. So those choirs remind me of church choirs, and that's also part of the instrumentation we see in Christmas songs. But before I get into that, I want to jump back to the emotionality and show you, if you're still not convinced that Christmas is an emotional holiday as opposed to simply a joyful one, I'd like to show you the original version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It was, I forget who it was written by, but the original version was recorded by Judy Garland. And it has very different lyrics than the one we often think of today. It's a lot more emotional, and especially in these times where we can't be together at Christmas and at the holidays, and it can feel very isolating. I think this song really talks about that. So I'm going to be singing the original version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And you can see the same chord progression here. I'm just going to move up to C major. I don't think that key is going to work for me today. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. So I wanted to play that song for you guys because I thought that was kind of really appropriate for these times. If you couldn't hear the lyrics, at the end it says, someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So, of course, that's what we're doing right now, muddling through. You can also see in that song how that chord progression plays into the emotionality of it, with those kind of jazzy chords that don't have a finish to them. So I find that song really cool for exemplifying these different ways that Christmas songs remind us of past Christmases. And I'll be touching on that later as well. So to go back to the choirs that we were just talking about, and how the need for community shows itself in the choirs used in a lot of Christmas songs. And those choirs actually connect with church choirs, which is very interesting. Because, of course, Christmas is originally and is still for many people a religious holiday, specifically a Christian holiday. So I find that really interesting how that kind of the use of choirs in Christmas songs actually shows us a little bit of the traditions of Christmas and the origins of it. And there are other things too that don't really make sense that we don't have today, but are still part of Christmas, like jingle bells. Anyone have jingle bells except like on a cat or something other than at Christmas? No, of course not. Even holly and mistletoe and things like that. We don't know of them, at least I don't know of them, except in the context of Christmas. So there are these certain things that are part of the traditions of Christmas that have no relevance to the world that we live in today. And that ties in. There are also other things that Christmas songs talk about. So Christmas songs talk about holly and mistletoe, of course. They talk about stars, snow, lights, decorations, bells. So they show these things in the instrumentation. And a lot of Christmas songs you'll hear ting, 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 ting as the bells, like jingle bells. You also hear a lot of church bells, like Someday at Christmas that I was playing just before. It starts with bong, 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 which are church bells. And of course, are more traditions of Christmas that aren't necessarily relevant for everyone. Even in places where it doesn't snow, snow is part of a Christmas tradition, like in the southern US and places like that. And so what's interesting about all these things, like I've been talking about, is that, thank you, Mark. I really appreciate being here. Thank you. But what's interesting about all these things, like I've been talking about, is that they really play into tradition. And at the end of it, I believe that Christmas is about tradition and nostalgia, and that's where the emotionality comes from. So Christmas is about doing the same thing over and over again. So don't um, when people don't have family near them, or when people don't have community near them during Christmas, part of the reason that's so difficult as opposed to any other time of year is because we think we're supposed to have family and community with us during Christmas. It's exactly. Thank you, Ed. And for me too, I was thinking, what would I think of when I think of Christmas? And I thought of food and decorations. And the third thing that came to my mind was friends and family. So absolutely, that's a huge part of my idea of Christmas. And that's part of why this Christmas is so difficult for so many people. And so I think what I find interesting is that we can see this through Christmas songs, through the mentions of friends and family, and even just like the spirit of the season. In A Holly Jolly Christmas, most popularly sung by Burl Ives, he says, "Say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet." So this kind of just community wanting to experience life with other people at this time of year. And we can see that in Christmas songs through the choirs, through the use of traditional things, through the use of kind of re-employing tradition, and it becomes a cycle that just goes over itself over and over again. And so before I finish up, I know I'm a little bit early, but that just means we've got some time to chat and have some fun. Before I finish up, I want to ask you, I have a little mission for you, okay? I want you to check out the Christmas song I wrote. Yes, it's self-promotion, but it's also an interesting project, so bear with me. I want you to check out my Christmas song and tell me if you think it sounds like Christmas. And if so, why? And so I'm going to link right here my Christmas song, as well as my link tree, which has my Instagram and Facebook in it. And I'll link my website too. Just a whole bunch of links for you to check out so you can contact me, connect with me. I love hearing from you guys, and tell me if you think the song sounds like Christmas, and if so, why. Okay, so 1 second, and I will link it right here. Ba, ba, ba. So the song is called Red and White. Okay, and this is my website as well, if you would like to get in touch with me. So that's my website as well, if you'd like to get in touch with me. And there's a whole bunch of links there. So again, check out the song and see if you can see the things that I've talked about in the song. And what I'm going to find funny about your answers is that when I wrote the song, this was last year, or a couple of years ago, in fact, I had no concept of this. I hadn't even thought about why Christmas songs sound like Christmas, or why they sound a certain way. So there was absolutely no intention of making it sound like Christmas. So it'll be interesting to see if you guys think that it does from a kind of objective viewpoint. And so to finish off, I was going to sing "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus" by Michael Jackson's Jackson 5, because that's my favorite Christmas song. 100% has been since I was a kid. But I think that I will finish up with a very simple "Santa Claus is Coming to Town." And I'm just going to do this a cappella, and I encourage you to sing along yourselves. And then I think we'll have about 5 minutes left at that point, and we can just chat. And if you have any questions or comments or want to connect with me, thank you for being here. Then, yeah, we'll do that at that point. Okay. So please sing along. And I'm just going to do the first verse because I'm not into that Billy, toy for Sally, and all that second verse with the dolls and trucks and stuff. It's weird. So we're just going to do the first verse. Okay. Oh, well, let's pick a different key. That's not so great for me. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He is making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Sorry to interrupt like this. Can everyone still see me? Please shoot a message in the chat if you can still see me. No, can you hear? But you can hear me though. Okay. Well, if you can hear me, then that's okay. We've only got 5 minutes left anyways, so we'll just roll with it. Oh, I'm getting all these messages. This is so fun. Love to have you all here. Let me just check. Yeah, thank you, Viv, Cheryl, Ed, Alex. Thank you all for being here. I really love this, and even though you can't see me, I am smiling. It's okay. We've just got 5 minutes left, so we're gonna finish the song, and then if you guys have any questions or I don't know, want to connect with me or anything more like that, I'd love to get your contact info as well. I love meeting people here. So let's just finish up the song. We're going to go from the second verse. He's making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Nancy. I really appreciate it. So that is the end of the session. I hope you found this interesting. Visual and more importantly, smell. Feels good about the holiday season. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I encourage everyone else to do the same. I'm really glad you liked it. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with that song, honestly. And there's something very cathartic about hearing so many different people's experiences of Christmas, like in What Christmas Means to Me by Stevie Wonder, and then being able to add your own. So that song is entirely my own experience of Christmas, especially in the second verse. Thank you, David. Awesome. I look forward to hearing from you. Yeah, especially in the second verse, I talk about thank you, Ed. Happy holidays. I talk about thank you, Judith. The Jackson 5 and Christmas Time is Here. Those were songs I listened to a lot growing up. We always put on a cartoon Christmas or a Motown Christmas when we're decorating the tree. And so those were a lot of songs that really make me think of Christmas. So of course the experience is different for everyone, but yeah, it was a very cool song to write. Nice to meet you too, Masakato. Happy holidays. So yeah, of course, this is the holiday season, like I said before, not just the Christmas season. So I wish everyone happy holidays. I hope everyone stays safe and stays well. And if you're in a cold place, stays warm. And I'll just be hanging around, picture or no, for the last few minutes. Happy holidays, Viv. If anyone has any questions or wants to talk to me about anything else. I'll just be here. I'll maybe play a little Christmas song and just feel free to interrupt me, okay? Let's see. I've already played all my favorite Christmas songs. Let's see what else I've got here. Here, we'll just do this is more of a holiday song to wrap things up. Let's do I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm, because I just recently rediscovered that song and it's quite fun. My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, but I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. December, the worst December. Just watch the icicles form. What do I care how much the icicles form? I've got my love to keep me warm, but that little off with my hat and coat, off with my gloves. Don't need an overcoat. I've got my love and my heart's on fire. The flame grows higher, but I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I've got my love to keep me warm. That was a little trumpet at the end there. Happy holidays, everyone. Stay warm, stay safe. You've got my links up there. So feel free to get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope everyone stays well this holiday season and enjoy the rest of the day at the Music Expo. Thank you, Ed. I'm glad you enjoyed that quirky little bit. Yeah, Cheryl, it's a great song. I think I learned it in like grade 2 choir or something. But it's quite a fun song. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Cool acapella. Thank you, Ed. Yeah, I enjoy just singing acapella and then doing some nice little finger snaps to accompany it. It's always fun. Yeah, so I'll be here for another couple minutes. I think I've still got. But if you are heading out, then have a great day at the Music Expo. And of course, thank you again to the Canadian Music Expo for having me. This is always such a great opportunity. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight. How I hate growing out in the storm. Going out, not growing out. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. So yeah, for this session, it was really cool to be able to kind of go through all my Christmas songs. I went through my Christmas playlist because I do have a Christmas playlist. I went through other people's Christmas playlists, all of Spotify's playlists, and found the kind of songs that stuck out to me. And I actually was sometimes able to sing specific Christmas songs over other Christmas songs because they're that similar. Not intentionally, not in a plagiaristic kind of way, but yeah, it was a really cool experience to be able to do. And I love the Music Expo for this opportunity to be able to kind of share these insights and kind of pick apart music in an interesting way. All right, so I think my time is up. To those of you who are still here, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Love the support. And yeah, please connect with me. I'll leave my link tree down here again, just in case you didn't get it before. Which has my website, my Instagram, Facebook, some other videos you can check out, but mostly to connect with me there. Because again, I love hearing from you guys and yeah, just connecting with the people I meet here. It's great to have a different audience of people I've never met before. So it's really cool. Everyone, stay safe, stay well, stay warm, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all. Thank you very much.